Welcome to IAS Market Talk, your trusted source for timely ag market insights, brought to you by Innovative Ag Services. Each week, we break down the latest beef market trends impacting Northeast Iowa and Southwest Wisconsin, with expert updates tailored specifically for our IAS members. This week, you'll hear directly from Dave Rueber, IAS Beef Production Specialist, who brings decades of experience and deep knowledge of the cattle industry to these conversations. Dave has been providing market updates to producers for years, and now he's bringing those insights straight to you through this podcast. Tune in weekly for what you need to know straight from people you know. With that, here's Dave Rueber with the latest on what's happening in the cattle markets this week.
David Rueber, Beef Production Specialist for Innovative Ag Services, calling with a beef market commentary for February 11th. We'll start off with the activity last week. It was a higher market again for both live cattle and feeder cattle last week. The South got all the way up to 245, in Texas and Kansas. We would not have been that high around here. Most of the cattle around here sold either side of 240. There was a few cattle traded in that 242 range, but most of them were closer to 240, and the market was higher as you got later into the week. This week looks like we're going to be stronger again. I think asking prices in our part of the world are going to probably be 245. I don't know that we'll get 245, but I think that's the asking prices. Nothing's traded yet. It'll be the end of the week. We had a really good day today on the board. $2-3 increase in live cattle futures today. We're back up there, not far from the highs that we had months ago. So really good uptrend on this deal. The only one that's feeling bad about things is the packing industry. Margins there continue to be extremely tough. February is not a good box beef month for packers for seasonality. Normally kind of a softer kind of box beef priced month, and that's kind of what it's doing. Choice boxes in the high 360s. Meanwhile, live cattle prices just keep going up every week. Packer margins minus $200 a head or more. They do lots of things with price and things on contracts as well. So you never know for sure, but certainly not good margins for the packing side of things. Long term, that's a concern for the entire cattle industry, but that's just the situation we're in right now. Closeouts are back on the plus side. When you get back into the 240s, there was some cattle that have lost some money, but those are cattle that were kind of closed out in the low 230s. But, as we get back up into the 240s, it's going to make it okay in pretty much all these pens again. Feeder cattle just keep working higher. Good 8-weight steer will run you high 360s laid in. The 6-weights will be in the low 4s. 5-weights will be in the high 4s, some $5 a pound. You got grass cattle kind of already coming into play. That always drives feeder cattle prices, this time of year going into the next 60 days. Feeder cattle just don't normally soften right now. The supply of them continues to get a little bit less, and you got grass fever kicking in, causing those lightweight cattle to be high priced. It's some wild stuff. The heifer steer spread record wide, and it needs to be that way, because it's so much more beneficial to be able to put that extra 100, 150 pounds on that you can with a steer over a heifer. So you got to be buying those heifers $30 back, and if it's calves, $50 to $60 a hundredweight back, and that might not even be enough. Cost of gains right now, I'm still kind of using that $1 for steers, $1.05 for heifers, hoping that that's a little on the high side. You're not going to have much winter weather on these cattle that we're getting bought right now, and that spring, early summer feeding period's a really good performing time frame. Some of these closeouts have been a little rough, on performance-wise. We went through that week stretch of nasty weather, and we're making all these cattle so big, we run into more feet and leg problems. We give up some feed efficiency, taking them to 1,600 pounds instead of 1,500 pounds. But bottom line, you can put those pounds on those bigger cattle and make some money doing it. So that trend for big cattle is going to continue until it doesn't. Packers don't like 1,700-pound cattle, so I think there's an upper limit, obviously, that we can't push over. But, boy, everybody kind of running these cattle high 15s, low 16s. That's on steers. Heifers, not every heifer can go to 14, but that's a number where the yearling heifers have been going to. Keep selling through good markets, show lists, very manageable. Just kind of a wild time to be in the cattle business right now. Once again, my name is David Rueber, Beef Production Specialist for Innovative Ag. Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode of IAS Market Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an update. And if you know a fellow producer who could benefit from this information, share this episode with them. For more updates and insights, visit innovativeag.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll catch you next time on IAS Market Talk.
Are you ready for a hands-on role with purpose? Join the facility operations team at Innovative Ag Services, where we value hard work, safety, and community. With locations across Northeast and Central Iowa and Southwest Wisconsin, we offer industry-leading benefits, on-the-job training, and a culture that supports your growth. From competitive pay to a uniform allowance, we invest in our team. Grow with IAS and discover your co-opportunity. Apply today at innovativeag.com.